Hybrid exotic snare drums are a brand new line of snare drums for Pearl introduced at this NAMM show. There are 3 different materials that we want to talk about. And basically when we say hybrid exotics, what we're talking about is blending traditional shell sizes with hybrid or exotic type shell materials. So let's start off with these drums right here. This is Pearl's brand new vector cast shell. And Pearl is the only company in the world that has the technology to offer this type shell, and we're working with a space-age company. So basically what happens is this shell is fabricated using a very thin strand of material that's has a hardening resin added to it, and it's spun around a mandrel. In this particular case, the mandrel is 14 inches in diameter. And there are thousands and thousands of layers of this thread that are combined on top of each other, and then it's hardened. So it's about a 3 millimeter thick shell, but it has the hardness of, it's actually even harder than steel. When you have to cut this and drill the holes for this, you actually have to use a diamond plated drill bit because regular drill bits will burn up. They can't, the material is so dense and hard. So it gives us the resonance and the flexibility of steel, but in one dimension this shell will flex, but it gives you a very hard response. So it's got a really cool tuning range. Now the vector cast is available in a 14 by 5 and a 14 by 6.5 inch shells. The next two in the hybrid exotic range is our cast aluminum. This is a 3 millimeter cast aluminum shell, and it gives you all the warmth and resonance that you expect out of aluminum. But this is in a seamless 3.5 millimeter or 3 millimeter shell. Now it's available in a 14 by 5 and 14 by 6.5 inch depth. And there are 3 drums that feature a Kapoor fiberglass shell. And back in the 70s, Pearl was the company that introduced fiberglass into percussion instruments. So basically this is a Kapoor shell. It's got a very, very smooth inner layer of fiberglass that adds a lot of cut, crack, and clarity, almost like a metal drum, but with the tonal characteristics of wood. This drum is available in a 14 by 5, a 14 by 6.5, and a 14 by 8 inch depth. They all feature a ebony lacquer finish with a pearl inlay. You might be able to see that from the other angle, but the pearl inlay. So these are the new hybrid exotic shells. Now let's talk a little bit about the hardware on the drums. They all feature Pearl's twin tube lug. So it's a cool design on there. They have our SR1000 strainer, so it's our glide lock strainer. And then they have something that's brand new for Pearl this year, and they are our spin tight tension rods. You'll notice a tiny red insert on each of the tension rods on the batter side of the drum. And what this is, inside this tension rod, and I'll remove it from the nut, if you can see, it's actually split on the end. The red insert is actually a screw that runs all the way through the inside of the tension rod. So when you've reached the tuning range that you want, the special drum key has a hex key inside of it, and if you can see, once you tighten it down, it actually splits the tension rod inside the nut in the lug, locking it into place. So no matter how hard you play, you're not going to detune that drum. It's a really cool new invention from Pearl. These are available on the hybrid exotics only, but they're also available in a 4-pack that includes the drum key, and after you own the drum key, you don't need to buy more of those, so you can buy 4 packs of these. So what a lot of drummers will do in the range where you're hitting rim shots and the compression that normally would allow that microscopic movement of that tension rod with each strike of the drum, this will completely prevent that from happening. So our hybrid exotics are brand new for 2014. I hope you check them out. There's a voice in there for every drummer.